Good afternoon, everyone. I am Donis Marie Ausejo, the partner of Marafi Kila, and we are assigned to report about the grinding metals. So I will continue to my part, which is the types of grinders used in metal grindings, the surface grinder, bed grinder, and jig grinder. So surface grinder is an abrasive wheel used to finish the surface of flat surfaces. So surface grinding is used to produce a smooth finish on flat surfaces. It is a widely used abrasive machining process in which a spinning wheel covered in rough particles or grinding wheel cuts chips of metallic or non-metallic substance from a workpiece, making a face of it flat or smooth. So the parts or the types of the machine are the grinding wheel and wheel guard. Grinding wheels contain abrasive grains and layers of fiberglass bonded into a wheel shaped by another substance. The abrasive grains act as grinding tools, removing material from a workpiece to shape and refine it. Grinding wheels are useful in many grinding and machining operations, while the wheel guard is a specialty synthetic wax developed just for wheels and brake components to protect against brake dust, grime, dirt, mud, water, and more to keep wheels clean and shiny for longer. Next is a splash guard. It is a flap suspended behind a near wheel to prevent tine splash from a muddy windshields of following vehicles. Next is the X-axis handwheel with power feed. To use the X-axis handwheel, loosen the X-axis table locks, position the limit stops along the front of the table to restrict table travel and adjust X-axis graduated dial to 0, then use the handwheel to move the table. While the Y-axis handwheel with power feed, it moves table back and forth. Increase rigidity of table when Y-axis movement is not required for operation. The next part is the coolant tank. Most CNC machining or surface grinding operations require a topping off of the coolant due to evaporation or the fluid being carried off by chips or parts. Next is a saddle. It is a special surface grinding machine that can process a series of flat surface types. Next is the grinding wheel and the coolant controls, the electrical cabinet, power feed controls, the work table with magnetic chuck, the coolant nozzle, which is nozzles are often used to supply coolant during grinding or machining operations to control workpiece temperature, keep the grinding wheel or tool clean and open for chip flow, enable extreme pressure additives in the coolant to do their job, and flush chips away from the cutting area. Next is the halogen work light, and lastly, the Z-axis hand wheel. So the pit grinder, it is used to sharpen tool pits and milling cutters. The jig grinder is used for grinding complex shapes where accuracy and finish are important. So jig grinder is a machine tool that is used for grinding complex shapes and holes where the highest degrees of accuracy and finish are required. So it is typically uses to removable or air-driven spindle. So next is the different types of metal particles from grinding. So metal particles or the metal dust can be classified based on their size into metal swarf, inhalable dust, respirable dust, and the combustible dust. So respirable dust, it is as the name suggests, is very fine dust that is typically around 1 micron to zero point 0.1 microns. This dust, created by fine metal grinding processes, can pass through the nasal passage into the alveoli of human lungs, where it can cause long-term problems. So these dust particles are so small that they are invisible under normal lighting conditions. So their extremely small size also means that they can breathe deep into your lungs and lead to lung damage. Combustible metal dust. Now, on the face of it, metal does not seem to be combustible. The fact is, fine metal dust, especially of certain metals like aluminum, titanium, and magnesium, can be extremely flammable and can burn at a very high temperature ranging from 2760 degrees Celsius to 4426 degrees Celsius. So, combustible dust is a combustible particulate metal that presents a fine or explosion hazard when suspended in air or the process specific oxidizing medium over a range of concentrations regardless of particle size or shape. So let's move on to the don'ts. So here are simple but important safety precautions you can find in the form of do's and don'ts that will help prevent workplace injuries while grinding jobs. So here are the don'ts. Don't clean or make any adjustments on a moving grinder. Don't adjust work while the grinding wheel is in motion. Don't force work against a cold wheel. Apply it gradually. Don't over-tighten the grinding wheel retaining nut. Don't use a worn and expired wheel. Don't use a machine with a damaged cord and plug. Don't grind materials for which the grinding wheel is not designed. Don't allow chipping or hacking on the wheel. Don't change the wheel for a larger diameter or a higher speed, peripheral speed higher than the nominal speed. Don't hold the machine in such a way that projectiles can strike you. Don't wear loose clothing, articles, or jewelry while grinding. Don't work on small materials that cannot be secured. Don't bring hand near rotating parts to avoid kickback. Don't use a grinder without a wheel guard. Don't put the grinder on the ground until the wheel has completely stopped rotating. Never use cotton discs for grinding work. Don't use coolant with portable grinders. And don't use an improperly adjusted wheel and only use accessories that are compatible with your grinder. So we must follow all of these to avoid accidents. That's all. Thank you.